Good morning, and welcome to episode 2 of my Collection Log Hardcore Ironman series. I'm the rank 13 overall and rank 4 for items logged on the collection log. We are starting out with 994 items, and we'll be going past the big 1K today. Today we have mostly PVM on the menu, including the new Phantom Muspa boss, some Gobblers Dungeon, and a quick drive-by of one of the new wilderness bosses. Aside from that, we'll open up some stacked caskets and an inventory of birds' eggs to end up the video. A big thank you to everyone for the likes and subs. We're already at 1,000 subscribers. I don't have any cool incentive or forfeit planned for reaching certain sub amounts, but if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. In this first clip we have back-to-back wildy steps for a hard clue. You'll see that I take a few precautions and bring a fairly decent tank setup. I got Kodai and Freezes. The Bloodbark top is actually the tankiest mage top as far as I know, so those give me a decent chance of freezing any attacker. And if they're very good, then I'd probably just bolt them. That's why I have my DHCB, and that way they're forced to eat a bit and decrease their DPS. But overall, the best way to avoid being PK'd is to avoid being in combat, and that's why I try to run through these bats and always have my logout button open, especially around the mage bank, so that I can instantly log out if I see anyone. Alright, it is time for some questing. Secrets of the North, so I can do the Phantom Muspa quest. I luckily already have General Shadow done for the ghostly robes and that shadow sword, which I needed for a master clue, because my Vigora is nicely in level 50 wilderness. So let's do this. The quest is pretty simple, and it ends up with a fight against a weaker version of the new boss, the Phantom Muspa. You mostly hybrid, meaning you range and you use magic against it. This quest version is pretty easy though, so I didn't actually end up using any food, but we're gonna try out the real version next. It's a little bit mechanical. You have to avoid some mechanics like the mage attack and slam. Those can hit pretty big, but overall it's fairly easy, fairly fun, and has some very cool drops. That is quest complete. Let's get into the real boss. The Twisted Bow is really carrying me through this boss. Some people only use the Twisted Bow and don't bring mage at all, but I feel like it's a little bit more consistent to bring mage as well, and freezing it is also nice. It lets you idle a little bit longer, and you're not as worried about the perfect timing. The only things that are kind of scary at this boss are the mage attacks, because you have to switch to mage quickly and then back to range quickly. Apparently it can hit like 60, 70, 80, though I've not seen that yet. And the slam attack can be pretty vicious. That's the first kill done. Nice double collection log slot with the charged ice. The charged ice is a transmog for the pet, and you get it guaranteed if you killed it in under 3 minutes, but it's a free collection log slot, I'll take it. Wow, clogging. I don't really understand the point of the frozen cache, but it does give you a chance at getting a Venator shard, and I need 5 of these Venator shards to make the Venator bow. The Venator bow will be very useful to me because it opens up a lot of AFK Slayer and some AFK clue methods. Alright, that is a very cool drop. Double clue scroll. Guess I'm taking a little break from this. Another elite clue. Take it, but I'll stay for a little bit. Elite. I just keep getting them, I guess. Not bad. And the longer I do these kinds of bosses, the more likely I am to make mistakes because I just get caught off guard and mess up. In this case, it wasn't quite a chance because I managed to eat the carom wand before the thing popped up. And I'm not sure if the max hits are really correct on the wiki as well. Well, little collection log slot, but you know, some slight mistakes right there. Should probably be a bit more careful. And of course, my recording messes up for my first Venator shard. I need 5 of these, and even when I have 5, I might need to do more Muspa so I can maintain the ancient essence for the bow. But at 35 KC, first one, pretty lucky. These are 1 in 100. Venator shard into another elite. Very nice. So yeah, I mentioned earlier that the slam is one of the few things you should probably learn as a hardcore, but as an experienced hardcore Ironman PVMer, when I tank it once, I will definitely not tank it again back to back in exactly the same spot, because you know, you learn from mistakes. Oh, I don't know how I keep getting hit by that. I'm just genuinely stupid. Anyway, I end up getting a lot more elites, which kind of slowed me down when the few days that I did this boss. Total of 7 or 8, I think. The only thing I ended up changing gear-wise is that the T-bow in the very last phase, it just has crazy overkill DPS. So I started bringing a blowpipe, because the last part is especially dangerous. And I'll end up today with 100 KC, with one Venator shard, only the pet missing from the log, but I'll definitely get 5 Venator shards in total. Maybe even go for the pet, since the resources are nice as well. Alright, the time has come for me to open my caskets once again. I've got an elite I can't do, and I want to turn it into Watson, and then juggle the master clues once again. I'm currently at 999 collection logs. So hopefully we have our 1000 collection log in one of these caskets. Again, we're going to start off with the elite clues, just in case I get a mimic. Oh, there's our 1000 collection log slot, the top hat. Very nice. Let's continue. 4 more elites. Oh, another elite, unique, very cool. Got 2 hats now. Continuing with easy clues. Master. That is one that I don't want to do. Another collection log slot, very cool. Let's see. Next up, medium caskets. Another collection log slot. Very good opening so far. Very happy about that. Now at 1003. By the way, the song you're hearing is called Rhapsody. It's actually an OSRS song. I had a couple of comments last time mentioning that it sounded a little bit like the song from 2 Girls, 1 Cup, and I promise you it's not that. It's a song by Mod Ash, actually, Ashley Bridges, and it's my favorite RuneScape song by far. Alright, 1 collection log slot from mediums. I think I have almost all of the non-rare uniques. Missing 1 Addy shield, 1 banner, and then these elegant pieces are a bit more uncommon. 15 hard caskets to go. Let's hope for some master clues. Dang, nothing from hard clues. That's too bad. Gonna get our 3rd master clue from Watson and give him my elite so that we now have 3 master clues to juggle. Open these up. I'll take anything. Any unique would be cool. Obviously, pet 3rd age gilded. I wouldn't mind. Maybe a mimic. Nothing. Good GP value though. And also nothing. Very bad GP value, so that equals out. But let's move on to PVM again. I am for once feeling motivated to do the Sire task I've had for 1 or 2 months. We are missing 1 bludgeon piece and pet and jar, but I really want this bludgeon piece, and then I could maybe do some CMs, maybe do Zaragnas for clues. And overall I'm a bit unlucky on Unsired, so I've had 3 and 520 KC. Got bludgeon pieces and I think an Abbey Demon head. One of the few things I do differently as a hardcore is sort of running these diagonals in between hits, because these scions can stack you quite a bit. If you run diagonally and through the boss, then you'll have parts of the kill where they don't attack you, so it's a lot easier to not get stacked out. That's about 2 hours of Abyssal Sire, maybe a little bit more. 63 KC, and I feel like I've got nothing done because I don't get Unsireds. Very fun. Yeah, Sire isn't too fun. I'll do a little bit every once in a while. Let's instead go to Gobblers Dungeon. The Armadillo crossbow would be very helpful at Muspa, and I can combine these Gobblers Dungeon trips with Nex so that I can bank there. You'll notice I have 1 ecumenical key, but I gotta be a little bit careful about using them. So ideally I go to Commander Zilyana, then I go to Nex, and I stay in the Gobblers Dungeon until I get my next ecumenical key. This is the gear setup I'm rocking, and I have the ancient bracers just so that I can bank it next. And the melee minion is Starlight, and nowadays you can left click Starlight, so if you click both of them you're just going to hit Zilyana, which is very nice. Of course, forgotten all of my restores, so this is going to be a short trip. That is at least a collection log slot, even if it's not a terribly useful one. Very cool. That is the wrong Godsword shard, sadly. I need shard 3 to complete my blade. Another Saradome's Light, don't need that at all. Ooh, boy. Ceradome and Hilt. Still no full Godsword blade, but that's a cool item to get. Very nice. Alright, last kill of this trip. Did a little bit better than the last time. And got some actual drops, so very exciting. Gonna go bank it next, probably take a short break, because I kind of hate how long these trips end up being. Go get some next KC and use the bank there so I can use these Ceradome and kill count towards my entrance fee. which saves me a lot of time and EQ keys, which I'm very limited on getting. The added bonus of this next KC is that I get these ancient ceremonial pieces, essentially 0 time. But yeah, getting ancient KC is very quick, so I just use 40 of those to access the bank here, and then I can fully re-gear for the next Sire trip, and maybe do some necks in between as well. I'm happy that I got the hilt before the ACB, because if I got the ACB first, I'm not sure if I would have stayed for the hilt. But I really want the ACB and the Godsword shard. Let's see if we can complete it at a low KC, hopefully. Another Sire sword, not what we're looking for. I think that's my last kill for the day. I might just do next tonight and then keep the Sire Dome in KC so I can do some more tomorrow or over the weekend. I'm going to do some brain dead mass necks right now, and hopefully I won't have to telly so I don't lose all my Sire KC, and I can use this tomorrow. That is 300 KC. Shout out Miwi, who is super lucky here. Another day. I'm back in Gobblers Dungeon. I still have some Ceradomin and next KC from yesterday, and now I'm going to go back to Ceradomin so I can use some of this KC for maybe 1 or 2 more trips. Meanwhile, I've been just bank standing here at the next bank and slowly working my way through my bank. Sire isn't too dangerous, but every once in a while I do mess up. Like here I didn't keep track of when it was going to spawn, so it's technically a chance if everything would have maxed. But by that logic, you get chanced quite a lot in Gobblers Dungeon. Another Godsword shard, still the wrong one. Missing Godsword shard 3. A sword, third one. Useless, but here we are. There we go. Elite Clue and Godsword shard 3. We can now make our Godsword blade and use our SGS and our BGS. That is huge. Very happy about that. So since this is the end of my trip here, I can just use up the KC and reset between kills quickly. I can go right back in without killing the minions, which just takes extra time. Let's call it there. This has been a very productive little session. We're ending up with 290 KC, missing the ACB still, but this log is looking very good, considering. So I'll definitely go back for the ACB eventually, and combine it with Nex again. Shard 1, 2, and 3. Shard 1 and 2. And completing the blade. That's my first ever Godsword of any type on this account. Let's test it out. The one hit. Very cool. Need to dismantle it though, until I get a full one. Noodle BGS, typical. As promised, I'm going to be doing a little drive-by of one of the wilderness bosses, in this case the baby Callisto called Ardeo. I tele into Karalangar. It's a little bit unfortunate that there's a wilderness boss entrance there now, because I used to use that tele quite a bit for wilderness clues, so I have to be a bit more careful. But yeah, first world I go into, I have my scout outside, but that doesn't help me to tell if someone's inside. And of course there's a skull guy in the first boss room I go into. Next world I go into is free. I tried to do this at a low time, like at noon, but it's still super busy. The reason I chose to do Callisto is because I tried this on alt, and it's basically the same as Muspa. So the mage attack, of course, messes me up the first time because I didn't have sounds on. But aside from that, you don't need to switch into mage gear to freeze this. And then it's basically the same as Muspa without the smite phase. But yeah, I sped this up a little bit Long term, I want to do all of the wilderness bosses in singles plus. I think it's fairly safe to do, especially if I have an alt outside, which I'll probably do. And I'll likely do it on Slayer task as well, so that I can get the Laren's keys. In terms of when I'm going to do this, well, not anytime soon probably, because I imagine that they'll be very busy for the first few months. So yeah, I just get a second KC here for this mini trip, and I'll have to be a bit more careful so that I can do longer trips in the future. Maybe I'll do one of these trips per video, even if it's busy. Finishing up the video with 28 bird's eggs. Ah, evil chicken legs dupe item. Let's take a look at the log. Now I have duplicate evil chicken legs, still missing 2 of these. Heard a little bit of talk about making these so you can't get dupes. So if that changes, obviously it's unfortunate, but you know, 3 pieces, 816 KC, it's not too bad. Still gonna go towards completing all of these. We have gained 14 collection logs this video, ending up at 1008. Still rank 4, or rather tied for rank 3. Good night, and thank you for watching.